Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Radha Shiva Sri Gaurava Prabhu Radha Budi Jagal Gopi Radha Sankar Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dhaman Ki Jai Mathura Jai Radha Mayapur Ki Jai Purushottam Shri Krishna Jagannath Dhaman Ki Jai Jagannath Pradesh Krishna Maya Ki Jai Ganga Maya Ki Jai Jamuna Maya Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Samhad Gaurav Bhakta Ki Jai All Guru Shri Vati Krishna All Guru Krishna, all Guru, Shri Guru and Gauranga, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
He's going to ask more question if he comes close. At least I'm assuming. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, again for giving a valuable time today. Let's welcome Radha Govinda Prabhu and Damodar Prabhu. Rightful place on their Vyasasana by 3 times loudly chanting. Hare
Krishna. Om Jnanatmirandusya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathamritam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamritam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we feel very honored and privileged to be again with you all this evening. I want to thank you all for coming. It's a working day. It's not a weekend, it's a weekday. You all have spared so much time to come here this evening to encourage us with your presence. Really, we are grateful to you. So, today's evening, the topic is that we will be discussing about embedding the culture of care. Today morning, we discussed about how Prabhupada exemplified caring for devotees. So, you may ask, why do we talk so much about devotee care? Just chant Hare Krishna, everything will be cared for. So, this question may be raised. So, I would like to give you a little background of. We have been attending the ISKCON Leadership Sangha, which takes place at Mayapur. It was started 7-8 years back. We decided every alternate year there would be ISKCON Leadership Sangha, where because all the senior most leaders, they come together at the GBC meeting in Mayapur. So therefore, just after the GBC meeting, we'll have other leaders from all over the world come together, and we'll have many topics related to the leadership be discussed. And parallelly, there may be 10, 12, 15 seminars going on by senior devotees, senior leaders. And there are some sessions which are plenary. That means common to all. There are 500 to 700 senior devotees and all ISKCON leaders present. So it was discussed that they were given a small group of around 50 senior most leaders were given the task of identifying what do we need to prioritize in the next 50 years of ISKCON. Now this I'm talking a few years back when we had celebrated ISKCON 50th anniversary, and now the leaders are looking forward to the next 50 years. So what do we need to prioritize for the next 50 years? So the number of things were identified. We need to prioritize reading of Prabhupada books. We need to prioritize education, training, succession, leadership succession, online outreach, and devotee care also. So there were a number of identified topics or areas which need to be worked upon, and devotee care was one of them. So now, for the whole ILS, there are 700 devotees who are all in some kind of leadership position throughout the world. They were there, and the groups were formed. A big hall, different groups were formed, and they were given these identified 10 topmost priorities, which were prioritized by senior most leaders. And then group of 500 were asked, which of these would you prioritize? Prioritize top 3 of these. Top 3. So then all the devotees did that. They read through the prioritized top 3. So how many of you have prioritized that we need leadership training for in ISKCON? And around 60% of the devotees they raise hand. 60% of the group. That is among the top 3. We need to have leadership training in ISKCON. How many of you have prioritized that we need to read Prabhupada books deeply? And 70% of the groups, this is one of the top 3 priorities. How many of you have prioritized devotee care? All the groups, 100%, they raise their hands. Some even raise 2 hands. That yes, devotee care is amongst the top 3, rather it came out to be the topmost priority for all the leaders in ISKCON for the next 50 years. We need to prioritize taking care of devotees. Because simple equation, we take care of devotees and devotees take care of the projects. If they are taken care of, they will naturally feel encouraged to take care of the projects. So therefore, as leaders, we should take care of the devotee. This should be the priority. So it came out of the topmost priority. And in now again, I'm just sharing few things from Radha Gopinath community. We don't want to like boast of, or we don't want to like put forth that this is the Radha Gopinath community, the West community, nothing like that. Each devotee community have their own unique contribution, they have unique emphasis, qualities, and so on. But in Radha Gopinath community, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, as we have seen, he has prioritized devotee care from the very beginning. So therefore, I am highlighting this aspect. So see, all the various disciples of Prabhupada is the ocean of good qualities. Right? He has so many wonderful qualities. So his disciples, they are like, they have picked up different qualities from Prabhupada, and they exemplify, emphasize like that. So therefore, each of the disciples of Prabhupada, they are great gems in their own way. They shine forth in different ways. And we should appreciate each. So therefore, I'll be speaking a few things from the Radha Gopinath community just to share, right? And not that we want to propagate that everyone should follow or boast of it, nothing like that, but just in ISKCON we are one family and would like to share best practices among each other. So with that viewpoint, I may just share a few things. So what I have witnessed in the last 25 years, I am associated with Radha Gopinath community. That Hiduni Radhana Swami Maharaj has always prioritized taking care of devotees, devotee care, and all the leaders, as I said, in the ILS held a few years back, they also uh, felt the great need that we should prioritize taking care of devotees. So I would like to discuss three aspects of devotee care, which acronyms to the word care. So for me, of course, devotee care is very wide, but we are going to discuss three aspects. Care, I was just reflecting on the word care, and then I thought that yes, care means culture of, C is culture of appreciation, R is respect, and E is empathy. So culture of appreciation, respect, and empathy. That is care. How do we care for others? At least we can focus on these three to begin with. So I'll speak briefly on each of these three. That if we need to embed care, we need to work upon or focus on this culture of appreciation, respect, and empathy. So, culture of appreciation. I met a wonderful disciple of Srila Prabhupada, His Grace Peter Barwash Prabhu. How many of you heard his name? Okay, most of you heard his name. Although he formally did not take initiation from Prabhupada, he was at heart Prabhupada disciple, and he was respected as such by all the other senior leaders of ISKCON. Very well accepted in ISKCON, one of the top uh, leaders and disciples of Prabhupada, Peter Barwash Prabhu. So I had the opportunity. He had come to in Bombay. He had undergone a heart surgery. So I had the opportunity to serve him for some time. I would cook some healthy prasad for him. The doctor had recommended. So then one day I went to meet him in the hospital. I took some prasadam which I cooked. And he shared one story with me personally. He was in the hospital and the maid came to clean the room. And after the maid cleansed the room, he, from the bottom of his heart, he said, "Thank you so much. Thank you very much for so nicely cleaning this room." And this was an elderly lady, this maid. She had been doing that, job for 35 years. And she said, and she broke. Tears came to her eyes. She said, "No woman has ever thanked me. You are the first person in 35 years. Can you imagine? Like she would do her job in the hospital, clean. No one has ever bothered to thank her. But he thanked her from the bottom of her heart that you have cleaned my room so nicely. And she just broke. Tears were in her eyes. That someone has valued my service. My service has made difference to somebody. So therefore, we should understand that appreciation gives us a purpose of living. The worst thing we can tell anyone is your existence doesn't matter to anyone. Whether you live or die doesn't matter to anyone. It just devastates a person. But when, each devotee contributes in so many different ways, small or big, we should learn to appreciate. We should learn to appreciate. It is the nature of our Lord, it's the nature of Gopijan Vallabh. Krishna Chaitanya Charitamrita describes Ishvara Sabhava Bhaktera Nalaye Aprad Alpa Seva Bahu Mane Atma Prayantrasad. What is the nature of our worshipable Lord? Ishvara Sabhava. He does not consider the faults to be great. He minimizes the fault, neglects the faults. Bhaktera Nalaye Aprad. Just overlooks all the faults. Alpa Seva Bahu Mane. Small service, he considers this is a great service. And he magnifies that service. So this is how the devotee community, any flourishing devotee community, that we should ingrain this. We should overlook the fault and not take it seriously. Of course, if it is affecting others, we have to deal with it. Even if we have to deal with it, we should not take it very seriously. We should not make any devotee as a criminal, within the heart. Some fault may be there, fine, everyone has fault, never mind. We may deal with it, but not take it very seriously. But what we should take seriously is even a small seva, a small contribution. We should take it seriously. Like a drunkard came, Prabhupada was giving a class, a drunkard came. And everyone looked at the drunkard and he was making some sounds and straightway walked in between the crowd. Can you imagine the class is taking place? A drunkard walks in and it is the disturbance that is created. And it goes straight to the washroom and keeps the toilet paper and then walks away. And Prabhupada said, this is Krishna consciousness. And when he started his Krishna consciousness, he has done some service. And Prabhupada appreciated publicly somebody who brought a toilet paper. Alpa seva bahumane. So we should learn to see small service as big and big mistake as small. This mistake will go away. Never mind. If a devotee continues, all the big faults will actually disappear in due course of time. So that should be the culture, appreciation for devotees. I remember Prabhupada was promised help by Padampat Singhania for Real Namrit. Prabhupada wanted a temple of, a Radhakrishna temple in New York, in US. And he was writing to some solicitors way back in 1960s in India. And there was Padampat Singhania. He was in charge of the JK Group in India. Very, very rich at that point of time. So he promised that he can help. But he wanted a grand temple with proper architecture. And Prabhupada said, we'll just buy a building and have Prabhupada idea was temple as place for preaching, some facility, and he wanted traditional temple and all that. No, that would require a lot of money and sanction, this and that. Prabhupada wrote to him, no, we will convert this place into a temple nicely. If the deities are there, holy name is there, it will be a temple. But he will not be convinced. And there was a lot of difficulty in transferring money also. First of all, he was not convinced, then Indian government was not allowed to transfer the funds. So nothing actualized actually. It was just a promise only. So then later I met the grandson of Padampat Singhania in Bombay. And then I took him to meet His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj one day, the grandson of Padampat Singhania. And I told Maharaj, he is the grandson of Padampat Singhania, right, who actually promised to help Prabhupada. Maharaj embraced him. He embraced him. He said, thank you so much. I was wondering. I said, ye to kuch aaya nahi. Why he's thanking him? He said, thank you so much. Your father did a great service. I said, actually did nothing. I was thinking in my mind. Your forefathers, your grandfather did a great service. And then Maharaj said, I said, what service he did actually? I said, probably Maharaj just wants to encourage. Maharaj said, your grandfather gave hope to Prabhupada when he was hopeless. I was surprised. He was a genuine appreciation. It was not just, coming formally sometime we said, we want to do it. He said, your grandfather gave hope to Prabhupada when he was hopeless. And no one was coming forward to help. But your grandfather said, yes, I am ready to help you. It didn't actualize for whatever reason. But at least he promised that he will help. He gave the hope when Prabhupada was feeling hopeless. So I thank you so much. So I was surprised, how seeing that some good, he's thanking for his grandfather's contribution to Prabhupada. So I learned that how we should look for even small good. Any devotee has done small good, we should remember it and we should thank that devotee, appreciate that devotee, whether they have done to us or any small service in the devotee community. So that's culture is very healthy. And it gives devotees a purpose for living. It really encourages, and it doesn't cost anything. Like sometimes we think, what is the best gift I can give that person? The best gift you can give that person is appreciate genuinely for that devotee's contribution. It doesn't cost anything. It's the best gift you can give. So that's the culture of appreciation. Then the second important aspect of care is respect. I also, on behalf of Mayapur Institute, I teach teachers training course. And in one thing we teach, one of the classroom norms for the teachers training courses, for all the students, we tell them, learn to respect other opinions even if you do not agree with them. Right? Some students express some opinion and we may say, what is this obnoxious opinion? Right? What is this impractical? Nothing like that. No. Even if it doesn't making sense to you, okay, this is, let me think about it. It is something unique. Right? So the culture of respecting, this is one aspect of respect I'm talking. Respect others' opinion, even if we do not agree. Even if we do not agree. It's a culture of respect. Vaishnav culture is culture of respect. Now, we'll see from Prabhupada how, Prabhupada was staying with Dr. Mishra, again here in upstate New York. And Dr. Mishra was a Mayavadi. Prabhupada was dead against Mayavad. But when Dr. Mishra, same, he was a Mayavadi and Prabhupada was staying with him, Dr. Mishra fell sick. And Prabhupada cooked for him and nourished him back to good health. You see, although philosophically, Prabhupada totally disagreed with Dr. Mishra, but as a person, he saw that as a person, he respected him as a part and parcel of Krishna. Not just that, Prabhupada cooked for him and nurtured him back to good health. Just see, it doesn't mean, disagreement doesn't mean disrespect. Prabhupada disagreed with him everything, but still Prabhupada has a respect for him, and that he is giving me some facility, he is hosting me, and even an enemy should not be disrespected. That's the culture. That's the Vaishnava culture. Even when Krishna and Arjuna and Bhima, they go to Jarasandha's camp. Jarasandha recognizes them, but still he hosts them as a guest. During the day they are fighting, evening they are dining together. Can you imagine? So it's amazing, that how we disagree with somebody, but still we respect that person. That person is unique. contribution. That requires a lot of maturity also to be able to respect. Now, even if a person is wrong, we should see that should I just disrespect and speak about that person openly? Nowadays, anyone start criticizing anyone on the internet. You can start posting, this person not doing this person not doing that. Lord Brahma, Bhagavatam described, Lord Brahma ran after his own daughter. She was created from him, considered as his daughter. Lord Brahma became attracted to the twilight. She took the form of a beautiful woman. Brahma became attracted. No, it's a mistake on behalf of Brahmaji. It's like a transgression. So his grandsons, the sons of Marichi, they are grandsons of Brahma. They started laughing. And that was a great disrespect to Brahmaji. Even if now Lord Brahma is doing something, he's transgressing proper behavior, but still, do you have the right to laugh at a person who is so senior in stature? That person has done tremendous amount of service, but he is now debated for a small point. At this point of time, he got, you can say, distracted, deviated, whatever. But still doesn't mean you disrespect that person. Therefore, they actually suffered. They were later cursed because of that offense and so on. The 6 sons of Marichi. But his sons, the sages, when they saw this behavior, the grandson committed mistake, thinking they are very advanced. Not just a mistake, they offended Brahmaji by disrespecting him, by laughing at him. But the sages who were conversant with the proper behavior, they folded their hand and said, "Dear father, this behavior won't set a good example for others. Please control yourself." Immediately Brahmaji checked himself. So with great respect, they submitted to them. So this is the culture of respect. Even if those who have done great amount of service, those who are senior in stature, we should not just feel that I have the right to criticize, point out faults, and speak in any way, or to speak of publicly writing and blaspheming and so on. Prabhupada never appreciated that. Those disciples of him who had done great amount of service, when they would leave Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada still wanted to encourage them. And then some devotees spread news, of their misbehavior. Prabhupada said, "You've done great wrong. You have blocked their chances of coming back. So therefore, we should have this culture of respect among the devotee community. And the third quality is the empathy, culture of appreciation, respect, and empathy. Empathy means to feel the pain of others. Now, there's the word sympathy. What is sympathy? Sympathy is, yes, I understand your pain. Oh, poor fellow undergoing the pain. We look at some beggar. Oh, poor fellow. But empathy means I feel the pain. Not just I say, oh, I pity on somebody or so on. But I feel the pain of others. Just like when the child is suffering, the mother will not say, oh, a poor child is suffering. No, the mother will feel the pain more than the child. That is empathy. So therefore, when devotees are undergoing difficulty, we should feel the pain that I need to help. Just like my own family member, when our own near and dear one is undergoing difficulty, we feel the pain. Similarly, any devotee, we are a big family. Any devotee undergoing difficulty, struggle, we should feel the pain and go all the way out to help that person. I would like to give the example of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He was in ICU in 2015 in Bombay, Hinduja Hospital. His face was covered with an oxygen mask and there were tubes all over his body. And he had got the stroke. Miraculously, he actually, by Krishna's mercy, he recovered. And the doctor who was treating him, Dr. Ashok Parekh, he was the topmost neurosurgeon. He said, when Maharaj was admitted, he said, I can say for sure that he's not going to live. I can say for sure. I've seen hundreds of cases like this. No one survives. But within a short time, Maharaj made a miraculous recovery. And this person said, this is miracle of Krishna. No, I'm sure he will live. His statement totally changed. Right? And His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj commented, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj is preaching even when he's unconscious. Doctor became faithful. Doctor became that this is Krishna's, miracle of Krishna. So he was, he regained consciousness. Doctor is sure now he's going to live. And Maharaj, he asked his servant, tell me what's going on and all that. Someone informed, is everything going well? Maharaj, there is earthquake that has taken place in Nepal the same year, 2015. Maharaj, though he was lying unconscious almost, he just regained the consciousness, this oxygen mask all over his body. He became so concerned. He told me everything, what's happening. Are the devotees safe? How is the temple? And so on. So he immediately felt the pain. Just imagine a person in ICU who has suffered, a life-threatening attack. But he became so concerned, asking all details. Are the devotees safe? What about the temple? Had there not been major losses and so on? Nepal earthquake. So much empathy. And then the next patient next to him, Maharaj, in the ICU. And Maharaj inquired about that patient. And the doctor said that patient will leave the body soon. Maharaj said, bring Bhagavad Gita, read chapter 12 for that patient. Can you imagine? While he is struggling, he is so caring for the devotees in Nepal, far away, for another person who is not even a devotee. Every living entity is potentially a devotee. For a non-devotee also. Bhagavad Gita chapter 12 should be read. Ask them to chant, give Prabhupada's chanting, play near that person. They want to leave the body. So this is the example of empathy. I'll just share another example of which I witnessed from His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj, and then I will conclude my talk and request Radha Gopinath Prabhu to elaborate on different aspects of care. So Radha Swami Maharaj was visiting Nasik temple. And in the Nasik temple, in the garden in one corner, there is a fountain. Water coming, this is a small hill, Kaliya Krishna, most famous fountain. So Krishna is dancing on the hoods of a Kaliya, and there is a mountain behind, there is a waterfall. And Maharaj was going around the temple. He saw that fountain, and there was a small pond, Kaliya Daha. Krishna is dancing on the hoods of Kaliya. And he noticed there was a tortoise, a turtle, a small turtle within the pond, and the turtle was sitting on a water pipe. There is a water pipe to circulate water. And the water pipe is, cylindrical in shape, round. And the turtle was sitting, and the turtle suddenly slipped. Because, round surface is not a nice place to sit. And it's not a comfortable place to sit. So Maharaj noticed that this turtle is uncomfortable in that pond. Right? He's not having a proper place. And then he called Shikshastakam Prabhu, the temple leader. He said, look over there. Where? That turtle. Yes, I have been looking at him for many months and so on. I know this turtle, we got him. Maharaj said, he's also temple resident. But he doesn't have a comfortable place to sit. Oh, I never realized that. Provide a comfortable place for him. I said, okay, Maharaj. And this happened in the evening, sometime in the evening. And then Shasham Prabhu accepted it. And then programmed and morning Bhagavatam class. After the Bhagavatam, Maharaj called for him, Shasham Prabhu. Have you arranged a comfortable place? He was shocked. He said, it is to be done so urgently. Overnight, it was evening. Morning, Maharaj is following up. Have you done it? I said, Maharaj, we'll do it. Surely, he thought this is the last priority. Maharaj made it the first priority for him, kind of. The temple resident should be cared for. And then Maharaj said, Radhanath Maharaj said, he said, please do it. Unless you give a comfortable place for this turtle to sit, unless you give a comfortable place, my heart will be in great agony. Because one temple resident is not comfortable. Right? So just imagine the kind of empathy which great devotees they exemplify. Similarly, Prabhupada, we can say he saw a long queue just in the bus stop. Bus stop in India, small bus stop where there are only 4 or 5 people can get a shade in the bus stop. There are 50 people waiting for a bus. And it was a hot sunny day. And Prabhupada saw that. And Prabhupada was going in the car. The tear came in his eyes, seeing the difficulty of others. We were in Mayapur Yatra. And what happened? We thought Mayapur, dinner, we don't have to cook dinner. Devotees can go and explore, there's so many avenues. They can just buy simple khichdi. Why should devotees have? They can have somewhere pizza, some continental, some Chinese, let devotees enjoy Dham, Mahaprabhu's mercy. Mahavadanya Nyaya. So let them have, different cuisines in the dinner. International mercy. So then what happened? The class ended, but we didn't realize there were 5,000. Every shop, there are hundreds of devotees. And all the prasadam, all the shops ran out of everything. Still the hundreds of devotees are waiting. And the waiting time was 2 hours. Even in the Gada Bhavan, which is like 1,000 capacity, the waiting time is 2 hours. What to speak of other shops? Other shops, they had to close. They have nothing. It came to the notice of His Holiness Jayapataka Goswami Maharaj that devotees are waiting for prasadam 2 hours. And he found out why this happened. I thought we thought everyone will enjoy, but we didn't realize logistically because everyone went at the same time after the end of the class. So all the prasadam avenues, they were full of queue and so on. And we had not bought the ingredients also to make khichdi. We thought we didn't plan it. Maharaj said, we will supply, prasadam to everyone, a free counter prasadam. Those who, quickly want to have it, they can, those who want to have all other cuisine, fine, they don't mind waiting, etc. But for devotees who want to have at least the basic khichdi, Maharaj immediately ordered that there be multiple counters around our yatra for khichdi, so that devotees can sleep on time, get up on time. They should not have to wait for such a long time. So he immediately felt that pain. So we can see this is true for so many disciples of Prabhupada. I remember I was in Kumbh Mela in 2016. I had set up our kitchen, our yatra kitchen on wheels. We take it on the truck and set it up. And then His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, he said, you all have come to serve here. First, I would want to feed you a nice feast. So he called all of us and he supervised and fed us, to appreciate, encourage. And then we started serving prasadam and we planned that 30 days we will serve out. But ISKCON somehow, to whatever publicity, we had planned to serve this much quantity of prasadam and this much budget. All our budget ran out in 10 days, month budgets. And we told Maharaj, whatever money we collected for a month to distribute prasadam, it was a great amount. So many people are coming to ISKCON camp, they're not going to other camps. 10 days, everything is getting over. We have no surplus, no stock. Maharaj said, give me a list of whatever you need. We must go on, run this Bhandara, this Prasadam distribution throughout the month. And within a short time, he really wanted to feed Prasadam to all. And it was hard. In a short time, he sent another one full truck of groceries. And whatever we needed, whatever we said, give me just a list. And then I made quickly a list, and Maharaj immediately arranged everything. He didn't want the prasadam distribution to stop. So many pilgrims are coming to Kumbh Mela. And so I could see, that deep care, concern within the heart of all these great souls who are carrying on the legacy of our parampara exemplified by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So I will now request His Case Radha Gopinath Prabhu to speak.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। Hare Krishna. So, the topic of embedding care in a community setup. Actually, we see that wherever a community of devotees have come together, being there for each other, supporting each other, then the success of more and more number of devotees sustainably not only staying in Krishna consciousness, but simultaneously progressing in Krishna consciousness becomes much easier. So, what are some of the factors that we must emphasize, especially those in the leadership position, so that there is sustainable and overall well-being of every person within the community? Of course, leader doesn't mean only one who's sitting at the top. Leader means anyone whose example or who is visible and who can create an impact on even one person is a leader in that sense. Every parent is a leader to their children. Sometimes even without our knowledge, we might be inspiring someone just by the fact of who we are. Sometimes we may not even know. We may not be in a very influential position, but simply by being visible in a particular program, just being visible on a regular basis, we could be loudly preaching to everyone that this, I feel, is more important than everything else. Therefore, I have prioritized this in my life. So preaching is not just about speaking. There was one Saint Francis of Assisi. to him, a quote is assigned, told to that it is from him. Something to the effect of you can preach and preach and preach throughout the day, and if necessary, speak a few words also. That means it's not about speaking, it's about being what we are. So, especially in Kali Yuga, as Prabhupada also mentioned, that if someone thinks that I can just remain alone and become Krishna conscious, it's actually insanity. It's not possible. Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma actually. Sangha, we come together and we continue to progress by supporting and encouraging each other. So we hear this very famous statement. Srila Prabhupada built a house in which the whole world can live. Yeah, everyone has heard this. So, do you know the address of this house? The dimension of this house? Anyone knows where it is? Yeah? He's built a house in which the whole world can live. Huh?
World itself.
World itself. So where is the house? Every ISKCON temple is a house, but how the whole world can live? No, somebody raise your hand, because otherwise I hear too many Akashwanis. Yes, Mata. Heart of the devotees. That's a very symbolic way of telling that let's not construct a house, Baba, too difficult now. Heart of the devotees, yes, but can the whole world live there? You may accommodate others, but others, do they feel accommodated? Yeah?
His books.
With?
His books.
Wow, his books. So his books are a house in which the whole world can live. Show me that go down where the books are. You're right. In one sense, you're right. We will explain how. Anyone else would like to share their thought? Here, speculation is allowed. Anyway, you don't lose anything. As long as it doesn't become a habit and you start speculating on other things. I have been thinking about it for quite some time. Okay, what does it mean? He built a house in which the whole world can live. So I was thinking, how will this house look like? You know, where the whole world can live. And we were discussing, a group of our devotees. We have a congregation development department. So few of us were discussing, and we wrote down what should we do to make sure that the whole community feels a sense of togetherness, inspiration, encouragement, protection. And then we kind of wrote down whatever each one had an experience of what is good. And then we handed it over to one particular devotee to make a nice presentation. We wrote down points only. And this devotee came out with an analogy of a house. And I said, wow. Immediately I said, wow. Now I know. This is what Prabhupada said. A house in which the whole world can live. So I would like to share with you today what is this house all about. It is one way of looking at it. It's one way of appreciating his books. in which this is there. The blueprint of the house is there in the books. That's why I said you're partly right. How to construct this house, the books actually gives. It's there in his books. We just need to understand it, and we have to have the right kind of architects and civil engineers, Vaishnav civil engineers and architects, and people who can contribute through their resources to construct this house. So, before we make a house, the first thing we do is dig a hole. House goes up. Why are you digging down? Because the first thing before we want to build a house is we have to make a solid foundation. So the foundation generally is never visible, but it is that which is holding the whole building. So similarly, that foundation of a house, of a community, is, as Prabhupada also explains in his quotations. I have a 2.5 hours big presentation of this, and with every quote from many places. But today I will just share just a summary of that. Is our individual and collective sadhana. That's the foundation of this house. To the extent our individual and collective sadhana is emphasized and is strong, to that extent the building in which we can come together will be very deep and strong. And therefore, through our talks and through our systems, through our preaching and through also our management systems, if we emphasize individual sadhana and also collective sadhana, Srila Prabhupada has already given us a blueprint of a Sunday love feast. The concept of at least once in a week coming together. We may sometimes feel that, oh, who's the speaker this time? Acha, really, should we go? It's a fact. We feel like that. But we also realize that for many reasons. Number one, it's not about the speaker alone, but the fact that somebody is nicely prepared and wanting to share, there is something that I'll get from there. And also, as I said, simply by coming, we are also preaching loudly to everyone that this is very important. Somebody the other day was telling me about Harivilas Prabhu. You know, there is not a day that he has missed his Mangalarti, temple prayer. Swavas. Huh? Yeah, Swavas Prabhu. Not a. So that itself is I have seen Jananivas Prabhu regularly sitting for Bhagavatam class. Some new brahmachari has come. Sometimes I was speaking in Bengali and he's sitting there. I was just by seeing him, it was so inspiring. So emphasis on individual and collective sadhana actually builds a very solid foundation on which the building of bhakti can be built very effectively. So that's the building part. Then comes the floor, you know. Now, the floor is one part of the building which we are 24 hours in touch with. You may not be in touch with the floor, I mean, the foundation. Not every time you may be in touch with the wall. What to speak of the roof? You know? But one thing that you are always, as long as you're in the building, one place you are always in touch, even if you're sitting on a cot, the cot is sitting on the floor. It's not floating in the air. So, can someone guess what that floor represents? Bead bag. So I am not on the floor right now. What could be the floor? If foundation represents the sadhana, what? Association of devotees. Well, are we there 24 hours connected? Good, nice. Bhajan. Okay, that's, but Prabhupada books, are you 24 hours reading? Pardon? The desire to please Krishna. Wow, that's good. That's good, yeah. Krishna. My God, you're going to place your feet on Krishna 24 hours? Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Of course, Krishna is everywhere. Right? Andantarastha Paramanu Chandas. That's what Prahlad Maharaj said. I think after Prahlad Maharaj, you are the second person. Where is Krishna? Everywhere. In the floor, yes. In the pillar also. On the floor, yes. Yes, Bhataji. What our thoughts are. I'll tell you what I gave that kind of analogy is a service attitude. A genuine, humble service attitude. It doesn't matter what kind of position we are, but we are only thinking about how I can serve with a desire to please Krishna. You know? And that's why is the constant thing? Because Jiver Swarup Hoy Krishna Nityadas. That's our natural, inherent, constitutional position. And as long as we have this service mood, a mood of genuine service attitude, it's not about serving only. Many times you may not be in a position to serve. More than the service is a service attitude. That doesn't minimize the service, but the attitude of service is more important. You know, we know the story of Ramdas Vipra, who accompanied not Gopal Bhatta, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami from Varanasi to meet Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. They came all the way, and 24 hours this Ramdas was carrying. He snatched away all the baggage of Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and he was carrying on his head. And 24 hours he was chanting Ram Nam. 24 hours. Bhajan. So they came. Mahaprabhu embraced Raghunath Bhatta, inquired about his parents. He didn't even bother to look at Ramdas. He just didn't even bother to look at. He totally neglected him. Mahaprabhu is the Lord in the heart of every living entity. He is the Supreme, he is the Paramatma. He is expansion of Nityananda, Sankarshana, Karanato Ishai, Garbhodashai, Kshirodashai. He is the source of Paramatma. He understood that this person is doing all this. His goal is to become God, not to serve God. So, this attitude of service, Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayo, Naham Vipro, Nacha Narapati, all this position, all this designation, I'm not any of this. Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayo Das Dasan. Majjanmana Phalamidam Madhukaita Bhare. Kulshekar Maharaj in his Mukundamala Stotra speaks about this. Janmana phalamidam. This is the goal of my life. Madhukait, Mad Prarthaniya, my only aspiration in life. Mad Anugrah, and I will consider I'm truly blessed if you can accept me as a servant of your servants. So that service may take any position of being a top or the leader and trying to serve. Srila Prabhupada said, you're all assisting me in my service to my Guru Maharaj. Therefore, I'm eternally grateful to you. So the consciousness, even though he may be Guru, he may be sitting up there, but he is also doing his service. Everyone is doing their service. So the attitude of service. So even if our head is in the cloud, the feet should be always be touching the ground. To the extent we have a genuine and humble service attitude, whatever be our position or designation of service, our feet will be very much grounded because we understand I'm simply a servant. Maharaj Pratap Rudra, he wanted to meet Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya said, nothing doing. I will never. No, he's a great devotee. He may be a great devotee. Sometimes in the showroom, they keep mannequins, statues of women and put sari emporium, at least in India, they have this, ladies standing with different poses and saris. Even though you know that this is just a, statue made of some POP or whatever. But if one embraces, come closer, there is a change in your consciousness or mindset. What to speak of embracing that statue. So similarly, Mahaprabhu said, he may be a devotee, but the word king is the reason I got. King means position, power, all this politics. I'm not going to interact with him. But then on the instruction of his guru, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, when Maharaj Pratap Rudra changed his dress as a humble Vaishnava, came, and when Mahaprabhu was lying down in, Balagandi, that place, after a lot of kirtan, he was relaxing. He started massaging his feet and started singing Gopi Geet. And at one stage, Bhurida Jana, suddenly Lord Chaitanya got up, embraced him. He said, you have reminded me of Krishna. Who are you? Who are you? As if Lord Chaitanya doesn't know. But in that ecstasy, he asked, who are you who have given me so much happiness by reminding me of Krishna? Maharaj Pratap Rudra could have said, I am King of Odisha. This is my I-card. He says, Raja kohe ami tomar daser anudas, bhrityero bhritya karo ei mura as. Just this is my aspiration. I am simply the servant of your servants. Please accept me as that. So this keeps us, to the extent we have a genuine understanding of this, realization of the service, position of our being the servant of the servant, any position we may be, high in the clouds, but our feet will always be well grounded. We will never, offend or misuse that situation because we know we are simply servants. And this position gives us an opportunity to serve, a facility to, effectively serve. It's good. We are neither attached nor detached. It's a question of if it's helping in that service, okay. So this is, imagine a whole community where everyone sincerely is trying to become the servant of the servant. In fact, that's the reason we always call ourselves as Das after initiation and call others as Prabhu. You know, Hamsadutta Maharaj at that time, Hamsadutta Prabhu. So one time Prabhupada was giving the explanation of name of everyone. So somebody asked, what is the meaning of this name? He said, your name means this. Your name means this. And suddenly Prabhupada, what does Hamsadutta mean? So Prabhupada looked at him. He said, the first time, he said, first time he said, Prabhupada, who is Hamsadutta? He said, you are Hamsadutta. Then next time, after some time, Prabhupada was again explained, meanings of different times. So again he asked, and Prabhupada answered. The third time when he asked, Prabhupada, what is the meaning of Hamsadutta Das? He said, the second part of the name is more important than the first. It's to remind us we are Krishna Das, so and so Das or Dasi. That's more important. So that is beginning of spiritual life of our eternal existence. That is Krishna Das. So one should emphasize and strive in a whole community that we all try to, as far as possible, to the best of our abilities, try to develop that attitude of being a genuine, humble servant. All right, so we have put a foundation, we have made the floor. After the floor, we need to build a wall. Now, what do you think the wall here stands for? You are free to speculate. Pardon?
Devotee support.
Devotee support. Okay. Pardon?
Unity.
Unity. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, amazing. Pardon? Protecting ourselves. How do we protect ourselves with Maya? Pardon? Listening to the discourses. Which is more sadhana? Shravanam Kirtanam is our sadhana, which is foundation. Shravanam is the foundation. Adav Shraddha Tata Sadhu Samya. Association. Well, I would, what we had made. Pardon? Four regulative principles also like about protect, basically protect. So those walls represent a deeper, meaningful association of devotees. In that association, we can easily follow these principles. In that association, we feel protected. Naturally, when we are in the association of sincere devotees as our well-wishers, then we feel great sense of security. They are here for us. They're there for me. It's very important because man or human being is they say man is a social being, social animal. This society. We need a society, especially when we come to Krishna consciousness. We are, leaving the mindset, the lifestyle, and the attitude of the general society. And therefore, we are entering into another kind of a situation. But we have our social needs of appreciation, empathizing, being there for each other. It's such a security, If anything is there, I know they are my people. There are my people here, and I can always turn to them and I will always get support. It is such a deep sense of security. Security is one deep need. It's a social need. Significance. This is another need, social need. Sense of belonging is another need. And that provides by the society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I was in Moscow and suddenly I walked into their language I couldn't understand, absolutely nothing. And I walk in and suddenly, Hare Krishna, Hare, I hear Prabhupada and I feel, grandfather's house I've come. Now I'm insane. And then I meet someone, Haribol, bas. That rest, nothing we can understand. Prasad, then Hare Krishna, and then Samsara Dava, everyone can sing. So Prabhupada has created at least basic minimum, all needs are fulfilled. And you immediately feel at home because you are acquainted. Home means where is what. You feel immediately at home means you don't know what will happen. Suddenly, what will people do now? But at home, this is like that, this is like that. So after Mangalarti, there will be Tulsi Arti. After Tulsi, Nursing Arti, Tulsi. उसके बाद जपा, उसके बाद शिक्षाष्टकम, उसके बाद गौर आरती, उसके बाद प्रसाद. We all know. So it is like a homely kind of an atmosphere. Protection. You feel protected in the homely situation. So facilitating that kind of deeper relationship of the six loving exchanges. Dadati pratigrihnati guhyamakhyati pichati. Shadvidham priti lakshanam. Developing relationships. All right. So the wall is built, but then only wall will not do. You have to have a roof. What does that roof represent in this house of Srila Prabhupada, where the whole world whole community can live? Yes? Sankirtan.
Krishna support. Mercy. Whatever happens, mercy.
Whatever happens, Krishna's support.
Mercy.
Mercy. So if you don't receive mercy, then you are exposed to the sun and the rain and the
Krishna's and devotees' mercy.
Krishna's and devotees' mercy. Yeah. Taking shelter under Srila Prabhupada's instruction. Wow. Okay. Wall. Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Bhakti Bhav. Jai Ho. You build a Eiffel Tower directly. WTC. Not just building. Full Bhakti Bhav is a tower itself. Yes, all of you are right. How we sort of thought about it. Like the foundation gives the basis, floor gives us grounding, the wall gives us protection. Similarly, the roof gives us shelter. And the shelter is access to people whom we can look up to with faith, confidence, and trust for timely, mature, balanced guidance. You feel so sheltered when you know that there is someone who genuinely is concerned about us, who is concerned about our well-being, and if need be, can even be there for us in any circumstance, and if necessary, even chastise us without any grudge, being non-judgmental, is there for us unconditionally. It's such a shelter. You feel sheltered when you have even one person like that in our life, whom we can turn to under all circumstances. It's an opulence. It's somebody who has even one person is a very rich person. Because the richest people don't have even one person to turn to, because they feel that they may be exploited. I can't reveal my heart, because if they come to know what's in my heart, they may look down upon me. They may take undue advantage of me, or I may be exploited. I may be used. So one trustworthy person who we have trust, faith, and confidence in to be there for us, and faith in the kind of guidance that we receive. Confidence that it will be very balanced and mature, and trust that there is no hidden agenda behind this guidance. It's genuinely for our well-being and in a detached fashion. We like it or not, this is it. This is not good for you, or this is good for you. To say that, if you have one person like that, it's an opulence. What to speak of if you have a system where there is at least access for those who want availability of a person like that, a system of care, where trained, mature, balanced kind of, or stable people are there for us to access and take guidance from. Then we feel sheltered. Imagine you have first class floor, wall, and ceiling. It can become your samadhi, isn't it? You need something else in the house. Doors and windows. Otherwise, Haribol. So what do doors and windows represent in this house of Prabhupada? Huh? Preaching. Excellent. Thank you. Anyone else? How preaching is door and window? Okay. Why do you have a door? To go out and also invite others to come. So, doors and window. Doors represent our outreach. We go out for book distribution. We go out Harinam Sankirtan. We go out Rath Yatra, and we invite people. Come. We have a big house. Do you have accommodation? Yeah, whole world can come. Don't worry about how we'll accommodate. You come. Because Krishna, at one time, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj told us, he said, Krishna wants to hand over the whole world to his devotees. Do you have the capacity to take care of them? He wants to give the whole world. But do you have the capacity to take care? If you take care, don't worry. When it expands, he will give you the next facility. When it expands, facility will automatically come. Where there is love, there is space. If there is love in the heart, 10 people can live in a small place, and there is place for the 11th person also. But if there is no place in the heart, then even a big palace can be too suffocating for two individuals, either you or me, okay? I can't see you early morning, your face. So it's a question of having space in the heart. If there is a place in the heart, there is place for everyone. So the point is going out and inviting everyone. This is like a direct outreach. What about the window? There are some people who are scared to directly come to somebody's house. They say, "Yeah. No. But they want to, they are very eager. They come in the window. Karte kya ho tum log? What do you guys do? And then they look, hey, you're enjoying, huh? You're dancing and feasting. Yeah, you like it? That is the door. So sometimes windows are some kind of indirect outreach. Like Govindas. I am not interested in dancing and like Krishna and all that. So vegetarian food I heard is available in Europe. I heard that it is available. If you want pure vegetarian food without onion garlic, you can go to Govindas. You Hare Krishna walo ko Govindas jao. So that is a window. And sometimes after belching loudly, and because they have some time left, chalo andar jaake dekhte kya hota hai idhar. Sometimes they may come in. So some kind of an outreach, like yoga. People are talking about yoga. Yeah, we teach them yoga. Yeah, we will teach you yoga. And we will also tell you about the highest yoga, Bhakti Yoga. So an opportunity to associate with devotees. And if they can develop an appreciation, oh really, what makes you so wonderful? I want to be, what do you do? Yeah, here it is. This is what we do. So there are so many indirect, they are like the windows. Or sometimes shopping windows have this advertisement. It's like also an advertisement where we say, this is what here, if you want, you can come here. So there are some kind of outreach which is more indirect. We're not directly preaching because some people are not interested directly entering the door. They just want to peep and understand. So yeah, these kind of outreach, because that's also a way of receiving mercy, and that's what our main business. That's our main, as I think Vaisheshika Prabhu wrote that book, family business. Right? Our family business, sharing this knowledge. In fact, that's the only purpose of this movement. Otherwise, we could have all been in our own home and performed our devotion service. Goshthanandi. We are Goshthanandi. We are eager to share. Actually, in the sadhaka stage, preaching is for survival of ourselves. It is not that poor fellows, take shelter of my lotus feet, I will flick you back home, back to God. You people are in a deep, dark well. I'm extending my lotus toe. This is the beginning of your end. So we shouldn't be thinking like that. We are doing it. We have no compassion. Actually, we have no compassion. We are happy where we are. As sadhaka, we are forced to go. Here is the doctor. Who has the compassion? He has opened this hospital. You know, in Karnataka, there was a doctor, very, very famous doctor, Dr. Modi. You type in the YouTube, you may probably, or Google, you will get it. Dr. Modi, he was an eye surgeon, very good eye surgeon. And he had 100% rate of doing cataract surgery. So, but he would do, because he has to do post-operative care and preparing and writing, registering everyone. He would do about 6 to 7 or sometimes 10 or more cases a day. Later, the other organizers like Lions Club and all that, they recognized that this guy is really good. And he wants to do some kind of service. So therefore, they told him, you don't worry, we will build a big hospital We will provide you all assistance who will register, who will do the bandaging, removing the bandage, putting everything, post-operative care, pre-operative, everything they will do. You do only what you can do. No one else can do. And that is removing the cataract, which is actually short job, but most of the time was consumed by the other things. So they built a hospital and his capacity increased to over 600 to 800 cases per day he was able to do. So I was thinking, Srila Prabhupada is the transcendental Modi. Chakshudan diloye janme janme Prabhu se. Chakshuhu unmilitam yena tasmai Shri. Only he could give the Bhaktivedanta purports. Krishna saw poor man alone. He is struggling, typing out, writing, printing, editing, distributing. He said, he's doing so much. Okay, I will send him assistants, some Western assistants. He sent him assistants who told him, Swamiji, you just translate, and you not translate, you just write those books, translate all these scriptures, and write this, present this book. We will do the printing, we will do the distribution. And look what happened. So, as preachers, it's not that we have come, our heart breaks to see the suffering of people. We are least bothered. Paradukha dukhi, no. Paradukha sukhi and parasukha dukhi. That is us. If someone is miserable, we say, kya karenge? That's their, karma. ठीक है भाई, थोड़ा लगाओ, अपना प्लेट लगाओ जल्दी. और parasukha dukhi. I'm chanting, but why am I miserable? This fellow is going around happy. Am I doing the right thing? Am I chanting the right mantra? Am I in the right place? Or maybe I should leave and go with them. That's our situation. So therefore, we are doing it for purification for ourselves. We are not doing it as a liberator of the suffering souls. No. So we need to go out and we need to get people for our own survival. And of course, so many creative and nice ways of attracting others to eventually actually get connected with the product that we have to offer. So, all right. So we had the foundation, we had the floor, we had the wall, we had the roof, we had the doors and the windows. What else is needed? Imagine all the whole. Okay, where do we eat? Here only. Where do we sleep? Here only. Acha, after that, washroom? Here only. Nahi chalega na? The house, we have to have different rooms for different purposes. So there are so many rooms. You have hall, so many things like that. Kitchen. Similarly, a house should have so many kinds of specific kind of activities, which means what that could represent. Anyone would like to share? Different devotees? Different devotional services. Oh, wonderful. Different type of devotee interactions. Like what? Can you please explain?
Some gives different, every devotee has different flavor of interaction.
Different flavors. Okay. Vanilla flavor, some are chocolate flavor. Sorry. So yeah, different flavors. Okay, anyone else? The principle of unity in diversity. It is still a house. It's the same house. It's our house. But there are various activities happening or various kinds of things going on. A house becomes a home only when there is that unifying principle. So unity in diversity is unity of one thing, unity of our purpose. We are all here for one thing. We all want to become Krishna conscious. We all want to share our good fortune with others. In that, there is no difference of opinion. We have only one purpose. We have to become devotees of Krishna. International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Very clear. 7 purposes. That's what unites us. But differences in natures, skill sets, perspectives, ideas of how to reach out as per their propensities, they are different. No 2 fingerprints in this whole planet is same. No 2 fingerprints are the same. That's why identity means fingerprint is taken. No 2 snowflakes, they say, are having the same kind of structure. That's the uniqueness. And this uniqueness is there even in the spiritual world. There are left-wing gopis and there are right-wing gopis. There is difference in their way, how they want to serve Krishna. But they are united with one thing. The only goal is to please Krishna. So there is Radharani's group, there is Chandravali's group. But their only purpose is to what will please Krishna. So there's unity in diversity. Different cowherd boys, they have all their different moods. Sudama has a different mood. Sidama has a different mood. And Madhumangal has a different mood. Everyone has a different variety. His devotees are so many kind of moods. So it is impossible to survive in this kind of a household or international society. The Western kind of mindset and their lifestyle and their whole worldview, because of a particular kind of culture or particular kind of upbringing that they have, they see things differently. But are they not sincere? Are they not committed? Are they not dedicated? 100%. But to superficially judge and label, it is impossible to build that house in which the whole world can live if you do not have this understanding. So appreciating the unifying things in everyone, which is common, and able to respect the differences. To be able to respect the differences. Somebody may be inspired to preach in a particular way, in a particular fashion. Or they may be good at something, may not be something else. It's a very, very narrow viewpoint to think that my way is the only way. This is a very deep-rooted conditioning. Every country thinks our country is the best. All others are uncultured. Every country thinks that. America, the best. The British thought they had the big burden of the white man to civilize the whole world. They're considered like that. And you read their history. Anyone who get against them, they are villains. And you go to other country and read their history, they are the heroes and these are the villains. So who is a real hero? Who is a villain? Of course, there is an absolute truth also. That's Krishna consciousness. So, Yanisha Sarvabhutanam Tasyam Jagat. It applies to even this level. I was listening to a talk on Daksha. Daksha Prajapati was so self-absorbed, so egoistic, thinking that my way of thinking is the only way. He couldn't appreciate Shiva. He felt that one should be properly dressed. This is the only way of cultured life. And here is, what is this person wearing ash and not being properly dressed? Being associating with particular type of people is really life. And he is associating with ghosts and hobgoblins. Gee. So his whole mindset was just very, very focused on only one aspect, not being able to appreciate the diversity. So without this balance, it is impossible to have a world in which the whole, a house in which the whole world can live. It's not easy, of course. It's easily said than done. But that's what truly one should evolve. You know, if you see, like Srila Prabhupada, one time, 25th in Juhu, we celebrated the 25th separation, service in separation.
25th year of opening of Juhu.
No, service in separation after Prabhupada's departure, something like that. 40th or something.
Anniversary of Juhu.
No, not of Jew. It was service in separation from Prabhupada. Maybe from 77 onwards, they were calculating something. It was, or 50th. 50th years of ISKCON's, not formation. Prabhupada's departure, it was called service in separation. So all the people who were involved, all Prabhupada disciples who were involved in helping with the Juhu project, all of them were there. About 72 Prabhupada disciples had come to Radha Gopinath Mandir on one particular time. That was one amazing festival that day. And we had put like this, pura, one full set of chairs. And all of these personalities, can you imagine? Each one is a historical personality in Prabhupada Leela. All these people, totally different style of preaching. How Prabhupada inspired, accommodated, and encouraged everyone. It was simply amazing. He told one sannyasi who was trying to control everything, he said, a sannyasi should not stay in one place. Go out and preach. He gave him a whole country you handle. Because as if like Banasur had 50, not Asur, we should not say. Like he had so many hands, abilities, skill sets. This is too small. Go, this is the place for you. To another sannyasi after some days, he said, sannyasi means to just stay in one place and do bhajan. So his servant was thinking, Prabhupada told another person, sannyasi shouldn't stay in one place, go. And to others, I said, no, you just stay here. Do only this service. Construct this place. So he knew exactly how ultimately the goal is to be, the body needs engagement, mind needs absorption, and the intelligence needs to be alert to what is our goal, not to get diverted by many other minor, tiny details. So Prabhupada, therefore he could build an international society because he knew the Indian psychology, what kind of they did, what these kind of people did, how they were. He perfectly, he accommodated so wonderfully that everyone felt connected. Everyone felt, this, he loves me, he accepts me as it is. It's not easy, it's tough. But the fact is, if you want to build a house in which the whole world can live, you also have to have this kind of a mindset of unity in diversity. Focused in the unifying factor while genuinely appreciating and respecting the diversity factor amongst different devotees and their way of doing things. And if we can do that as a community, if we can emphasize these principles, then the same building can accommodate 10,000 more. Not at all a problem. In Krishna book you read, Maharaj Ugrasen had 4 quadrillion servants. How could they accommodate in one small tiny island called Dwarka? And their photo, he had 16,108 wives. All of them had 10 sons, and they had 10 sons. And I was thinking, if they want to have a group photograph, you have to send a satellite to take their. And all of them had palaces. We never hear of traffic jam in Dwarka. We hear of palaces, gardens. How was it? What is difficult for Krishna? To accommodate this whole planet. He can accommodate a whole planet on the tip of a needle if he wants. What's the difficulty? In Rajvidya, Prabhupada writes that book, that Narada and the cobbler and the Brahmana and the cobbler. So the cobbler had faith that Lord was putting elephant through the eye of a needle. Hey, are you really Narada? Did you really go? The Brahmana wouldn't believe. But when the cobbler was told that, the Lord was putting elephant through the eye of a needle, the cobbler had tears in his eyes. Narada said, do you really believe? So why not? I am sitting under this, my ancestors were sitting under this banyan tree. And in this, there are one fruit has thousands of seeds, and in each hundreds of seeds, and in each of the seeds, my Lord has put a banyan tree. So as Prabhupada would say, what is the difficulty for Krishna? To accommodate 1,000 more people in this huge building. We don't have to worry. Our job is bring them and give it to him and them. They will manage. You told us to get them. We have got them. You manage them now. And believe it or not, as soon as people come, as soon as it bursting at the seams, somebody will come and say, "Thoda chota pad raha hai. I think we should get another big one." And somebody will come forward and things will happen. Who had thought this building will come? How will we manage? It's happened. Prabhupada had that. Fisherman said, we want it for Krishna. And it came. So these are some few thoughts of a community living. What to speak of if each one of us, if through the emphasis, through training, if these 6 aspects of building are emphasized and people are trained into, and people are striving to sincerely cultivate, it can become such a place where anyone who walks in and experiences the surcharged devotional atmosphere would never want to leave such a place. Why would they ever want to leave that place? Actually, this is what everyone is looking for. Because we were all there, we have come here. Like deja vu phenomena. In neurology, it's called deja vu. Deja vu means, you come and say, somewhere I have experienced this. I don't know why. I had seen a Bollywood movie. This hero meets with an accident and he loses his memory, who he is. And another heroine comes. And he's living with her. And he's forgotten his previous life. And then he comes something and says, yeah, this is all dekha lagta hai. Then he meets with another accident. And then he remembers this and forgets this one. So we were all there with Krishna. And one accident, Maya slapped us, Krishna bhuliya ji Bhagavan se paase de Maya tare japatiya. Ye kan fart. And then suddenly we forgot. Oh, I am so and so, I'm Indian, I'm this, I'm man, I'm woman. And then one slap Krishna gives. Very sweet one, gradual one. And then suddenly, seems very familiar. This seems very nice. I don't know why, but I like it so much. Yeah, this is where you belong. So gradually, end of the Bollywood movie will be Haribol. So yeah, that's Srila Prabhupada's mercy. And if he can put our part, our bit into this service, be a great, we can experience, we can see the miracle happening right in front of. Then you don't have to have struggle to develop faith. You can see it actually, that it is possible. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Shri Radha Gopi Jan Vallabh ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
Praise Radha Gopinath Prabhuji ki jai. Praise Damodar Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai. What's late? Can I have one or two questions? Prabhuji will agree.
Yes.
Yeah, personally.
So before we go to Prashad, Prabhuji, I speak on behalf of whole congregation. When I say thank you very much, Prabhuji, we are very, very grateful for your presence. Both of you have been amazing. All the topics that you presented, so complicated and so nicely you have explained in such a meaningful. I don't know the right words, but pretty much all the topics are very close to our hearts. Everyone is getting a lot of benefits. So thank you for your time, Prabhuji. Thank you for your wisdom. And we request, please come again and again and allow us to serve you in whatever capacity we can. So that we can, it's our selfish desire. So if we request you to come, we are the one who are actually going to get benefited. So please consider this our humble request to please visit us again every year multiple times. Let's one more time. Let's express our really from bottom of our heart. Let's express our gratitude for all their efforts. By 3 times loudly chanting. Haribo! 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 This is Radha Gopinath Prabhu ki jai. This is Damodar Prabhu ki jai. They are leaving early tomorrow morning. So this is the last, for this trip, this is the last class that we have.